Good evening. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mentel Radio. And tonight is a special night, a special Sunday night broadcast because I didn't do the Supermen, Superwomen project here in New York due to bad weather conditions. There's a little storm brewing out. So I decided to sit in and do this broadcast from here. My mindset is clear, because I've been clearing out a lot of things in my mind, a lot of loose ends and people, and I want to get people on point for this evolution that's about to take place. It's had a lot of people acting strange. It's had a lot of people around me acting strange. Certain things come up, certain things come out, certain things fall behind, certain things end up off keel. So I'm always the person that tries to put things back in tune. And it seems to be the theme of all of this is money. It seems that the theme to everything that's taking place is money. In my personal situation and in the situations that are surrounding black people in this society today, right? Black people somehow think that money is the answer to their problems in the society. The beast dangles money in front of our people's face on the regular, to the point whereas we sit up here and we dangle money in each other's faces. We sit up here and we put energy into money. We flash money in each other's faces, and what we don't understand is that it's a whole submental trick to keep us lusting after the material stuff. I'm not saying money's not important. You need money to live here. But that should never be the end-all, be-all of your existence. That has become the end-all, be-all of black people's existence. Get money, live for materialism. That's the talk of the day. So much so that when you chase money like that, it never comes to you. Trust me, I know. I chased money for 10 years of my life, selling drugs, doing all the negative things I could do to chase money. And the more and more it seemed like I chased it and I had my hands around it, it went fast. It's as quick as it went out of my hands. See, black people don't understand that the reason why these people, the white man and these other people have money and they maintain wealth and they keep money coming is because they're concentrated on the bigger idea of things, the bigger picture of things. Relationships, fostering good relationships, nurturing good relationships with people, because that's priceless. I used to think that it was a time where I would put money before people. And I realized that was wrong now. You see, because, money comes and goes. But people that you can work with, do things with, live with, they'll always be able to produce. Family, look, good example of this, the Jews. Family means more to them than money. They may seem like they're money hungry and things like that, but keeping that money in the family and keeping a generational thing going is paramount with these people. And I don't hate on them for that. I think it's a good thing. That's something black people don't focus on. These people nurture relationships. Black people chase money. Right? They chase money and they never seem to get it. Because with all the flashing of the money on the screens and things like that, and all the images of money, you would think our people would have it by now. You would think that our people would have this master plan made up where they could get money, but they never do. They always sit around, and they'll constantly be working for somebody. They'll constantly be at the mercy of somebody. They'll constantly be made to live their life where they're just paying bills and pursuing temporary pleasures in life. That's the mentality. That's the mindset. Our people have this idea that money is really the problem. If money was really the problem with black people, then our problems would be solved overnight. Our problems would be solved overnight. But there's a higher reason why we don't have the material. See, because when you say money, money really means material. Money really means the things that you want to buy. Black people see money as a resource to buy things, to consume. White people see money as a resource to conserve. That's why they have all the money. Because if you gave black people all the money tonight, overnight, you gave them all the money, everything would be screwed up. Why do I say that? Because black people would kill the resources that they want, to the money for to purchase. They would buy up material till there was no more material on the planet. They would buy up food. They would buy up too much food. They would buy up too much material. They would buy up too many cars. They would buy up too many pairs of sneakers, everything. Because our people are nothing but consumers. And what happens when you put money in the hands of mass consumers? You deplete resources. There's a reason why they have to regulate the spending of money here. Because for people who are mass consumers, people who can't have one pair of sneakers, they need 50 pair of sneakers. People who can't have one car, they need 20 cars. People who can't have one coat, they need 100 coats. You understand? People who would build mansions and many mansions all over the place where there would be no room for public housing, and people who don't have the money. You have to have people without to balance things out. The people who have the money, after a while, money becomes, it's not about the material of it. It's about control. It's about responsibility, which is why our people will never have it. It's about having to work for it to get it, and not get it just because you want it and it's a handout. You understand that? That's the whole point of that. The whole point of our people not having something is because we refuse to work for it. I said something a couple of days ago on Facebook. I said black people would rather ride the coattails of white people and other people who have made it in society, people who have started off businesses, people who have put in work, people who have put in work and did these things, and at the end of the day, they, black people end up riding their coattails. They put in the work to build. You understand? They put in the work to build. These white people you sit up here and call devils and things like that, they put in the work to build. You understand? They built companies. They built industries. They sweated. They worked hard. They toiled. Everything didn't just come by a handout. See, black people would like to believe that. Black people would like to believe that, it's some satanic thing where, people handed down wealth. Yeah, now that's true. They hand down wealth to their family, but somebody had to work for that. Somebody had to bust their behinds for that. Somebody had to really go in and work hard to bring that in, to make that happen. You understand? Somebody had to do that. Somebody had to go and put the work in, put their foot forward. You understand? Somebody had to reach out to make that happen. Our people don't want to be the first ones to pioneer that. They don't want to keep their minds focused on something bigger than just materialism and material things. That's why you have idiots putting up money, posing. You see black folks posing with money in their hand, showing big stacks of money, because that's the focus. You understand? That's the focus on paper now. Currency, what they call currency, things, the images that they use to make you think that has power. You understand? Because they keep people without it. It's not the people that have the money. It's more their power to keep you without it. Or at least you think so. It's not even them keeping you without it. It's them showing you, or them showing that you have to actually come up with something, an idea, a concept, some sort of way of thinking that's going to make a lot of money. And black people don't want to do that. They make it appear hard. They already know how our people think when it comes to money. They know our people are not going to work for it. They know our people are the biggest dollar in the dream people, waiting for it to hit the lottery, hit the number, waiting for some easy money to come. They know how our people think. They know our people are not self-starters. They know we're not going to build a business from the ground up. You had a few of those type of people in our history that did that. People like Berry Gordy. People like John H. Johnson, who started Ebony and Jet. You had other people that started businesses, Dave Bing with Bing Steel. You had a lot of black people, but few and far in between. Black people don't have an entrepreneurial spirit. They call having an entrepreneurial spirit going and working some money marketing scam or some scheme to sell coffee or some scam to sell some insurance or some nonsense, selling some energy, some money marketing scheme or pyramid scam. They call that having an entrepreneurial spirit. I call it an entrepo nigger spirit. You understand? Because you trying to ride the coattails of some white hustlers. That's what I call it. And these guys, like I said, at the end of the day, they don't give a damn. They're going to make money. They're going to make money off of how many suckers they get in there, buy their coffee, buy their insurance, buy their what prepaid legal, whatever the hell black people get into. Because if I hear another person coming up here on Facebook trying to sell me some damn some prepaid legal or some organo gold coffee or some goddamn whatever, you understand? You know, if I hear somebody trying to tell me they got an opportunity for me for some stocks and some investments again, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off at the kneecaps. I don't want it. You understand? I'm not gonna be the 50th sucker in your pyramid scam to give the white man more money, because that's what that's all about. You know, I tried to create a system here in New York where I had water moving for my people. You know, I tried to create a system like that, and I have. I created a system like that where I had people doing where I got a few people selling water. I said it's very simple. You sell water, you make money. People want it. Alkaline water, alkaline iced tea. Trying to start a beverage company here. The beverage, we ain't trying, we doing it. Now you're trying to explain that to people, to tell people to make this. This is something that's bright owned. I don't like to say black owned no more. Bright owned. Trying to get your bright brothers to do it, even the ones who might not see, because a lot of our people, unfortunately, still are black. Because, like I said, people who are black, they're in the darkness. They can't see the light. But anyway, you're trying to get this going. You starting, and you're being a self-starter, and people don't see it. People don't see the vision ahead. People don't see the mindset. You understand? They don't see progress being made, because they want to see white people there with money. They want to see black people who appear to have money. See, because that's the big scam and the hustle with a lot of these pyramid scams and schemes. They know they got to just show some black person or somebody look like you that look like they doing well in a company or a business. And they tell you that, you can have your own enterprise and start your own business. Do you know any man, any real person who started the company from scratch, do you think that they're really going to have you up here doing business? You understand? You really think they're going to have you up here doing business? You really think they're going to have you up here doing some sort of business where they making money? You understand? You think they're going to have you where they got you making money? The people that start the business are always going to be the people that are going to ultimately make the money. They might throw a few nigger pennies off the table at you. You understand? Just to keep you satisfied, because they know you niggas don't want much. You understand? They know you don't want much. They know that you happy with a few crumbs off the table. That's the black man for you. They know y'all a bunch of crumb snatchers. They know you got a roach mentality, and that you just happy to get anything. They know that y'all don't want to work for no money. So y'all are the prime people for being plucked. You the prime suckers for being plucked. Lined up. Getting these people to do your bidding for you. You understand that? They know that. They know that you're prime for that. They know that you're going to be focused and fixated on that. They understand that. They understand that, our people, how they think, how they are lazy, or they become lazy when it comes to actually seeing a bigger picture and starting something. Because, like I said, when our people started businesses, we did it with the intent of building something for ourselves, building something for our children, building a future. No, but now that the focus has changed to cars, money, hoes, and clothes. That's all a nigga know. And chicks with Fendi bags and funky weaves and perms on their head. That's what the focus is. You understand? That's what the focus is. That's what the interest is. It's a submental plot, a scheme to get people to focus on things that don't matter. That's the focus, to get you to focus on things that don't matter. Schemes that don't matter. Mindsets, ideas that don't matter. You understand? That's always the focus. That's always the focus, to get you putting energy into things that just don't matter. Things that are set to put you on a pedestal and knock you down. Getting you to look at that lifestyle. They put people out there purposely, and that's a big thing in this rap music industry. It's a big thing that they lure a lot of young black men into. They get some simple-minded Negro to flash some money in your face. So anything you might have thought about, that lures a bunch of young black men into this music industry, the rap game or whatever, which is a big game. They lure you in. And out the window goes any ambition you might have had to be a doctor or a lawyer or be something more than just standing around the projects being nothing. Now everybody want to go in the vocal booth because one Negro flashed a wad of cash in the face and threw it in the lens of a damn video. You understand? So you got 100 Negroes that want to follow that. You got 100 black men that want to be 1,000 black men and black women that want to be rappers. Everybody want to be in the booth. Or some chick who's standing on the table clapping her butt cheeks and whatnot for a fistful of dollars. That's how you know, just because the money, power, respect. What that little Kim said? All that is done to put you in a submental space. All that's done for that. Money has destroyed relationships, good relationships, I know. People focused on money. You understand that? Destroy good relationships. See, because we don't understand, based on the relationships that you foster with people, that can bring wealth out of that. See, the white man, he values relationships. He values connections. We don't. We'll break up and get angry over nigger pennies. We'll end friendships, in relationships over pennies, especially when somebody's trying to make moves and do something. That's what we do. This is why we can't foster any real relationships. You understand? We can't foster anything because money's always the issue. Either somebody don't want it or somebody don't want it enough, or you got two people who stuck on it and they can't see the bigger picture beyond the money. See, you know why our people really don't have any money? Why our people will always be chasing money? Because they think the object is supposed to be the money. The object is never the money. The object is supposed to be, what do you intend on doing with the money beyond that? Let me give you an example. You'll see, I watched the documentary on the Rockefellers, right? The oil-rich family, the Rockefellers, they refined oil, Rockefeller, Standard Oil, right? They made their money in oil and natural resources, and they took that money and opened up parks, opened up schools, did all kinds of things like that, became so-called humanitarians, right? This is what they did with their money. Rockefeller's wife, Anna Spelman, started Spelman College, the Spelman College in Atlanta for black women. Rockefeller's wife, Anna Spelman. The school, Spelman University, is named after a white woman, John D. Rockefeller's wife. All off of their money. Where was all these black people to do that? See, black people will get money, rap money, drug money, whatever money you get, in football money, athlete money, whatever. No school for your children. No enterprise beyond football. No enterprise beyond basketball, because that's all black people see. Black people see the small picture. They never look at the bigger picture. You understand? They never look at the bigger picture. It's always the small picture. They never look at the bottom line. You understand? They always sit up here and they focus on things like money. You got black people who sit up here in universities and colleges, and you got people like Bill Cosby who'll give money to these universities. Then these niggas turn around, he giving money to universities, to people who's sitting up in there, the presidents of the university and whatnot, who probably robbing from the fund. You understand? Taking money. I've been seeing the United Negro College Fund collect money all this time, and I've yet to see anybody go to college off of that fund. That's just me. I don't know. You know, I've yet to see anybody go. I don't even think they collect that anymore. But like I said, our people don't value the real things. It's just all about materialism. It's all about who can give their money back to the white man faster. and cars and clothes and nonsense. That keeps you in that submental slave mindset. There's a reason why they got webs on the damn dollar bill. There's a reason why there's webs there. Because what does a web do? A web traps something. You understand? That's what a web does. A web traps something. You understand? A web traps a harmless creature in it. You understand? And you black men and black women have been harmless creatures who have fallen victim to the web, to the money. You'll kill for it. You'll sell your ass for it. You black women, y'all will do anything. You'll sleep with men. You'll go on in pornography and sleep with multiple men for money. You understand that? You'll do anything for it. What has become of these people mentally? They've fallen short. They've fallen on a submental state. It was a time when our people were in Egypt and places like that, and even though the Africans, we was amongst the Africans, we didn't value gold. Gold was made as jewelry and something to wear and whatnot. We made necklaces and rings and things like that because it was such an abundance. We didn't see any value in it until a white man came and said, that's valuable. Then, now all of a sudden, it's valuable. Even though it's good for a receiver, but we didn't see that as valuable. We didn't put any emphasis into that. You understand? We didn't put any emphasis on that. We put more emphasis on life and the future. We put more emphasis on the future. But what happened when we went amongst the Africans? You understand? What happened when we went amongst the Africans? The Africans, they started valuing the material. That's why the white man was able to come over there and give them trinkets, give them garbage, give them nonsense to sell our people into slavery. Because, as I said, us black people here in America, we're not African. We were amongst the Africans. You understand? But that's where it started. Materialism, giving our people junk. You understand? Giving our people flashing rims or spinning rims and cars and whatnot. That's where the submental state started. And we mixed in with people who were on a submental state. And we allowed ourselves to be around people who were on a submental state. You understand? That's where that comes from. That's what we were able to get caught up in. Now we can't get out. We can't figure out why is it that we can't make a business? Why can't we make money? I said people like, for example, when the white man, he'll go out and make money. He'll make money figuring out something he likes to do for fun, like Stan Lee, the guy who came with all his characters from Marvel Comics. He's a guy who just liked to draw comics. Or like I said, think of characters and write stories for them. Became a millionaire off that. Because that's dealing with a wealth of ideas, a wealth of knowledge. People who are wealthy mentally, who are overflowing with an abundance of intelligence and great ideas, will always make money. You understand? But the people who are looking to ride the coattails of others, like you money scam artists and you marketing Negroes who looking to ride the white man's coattails, y'all always going to be perpetually broke. And he knows that. He sets the system up like that. He sets the system up just like he sets the system up in Las Vegas for you niggas to lose. The gamblers, like I said, the house always wins. You understand? That's just a walking ATM machine where you just walk up and just give them your wallet. Same thing with the marketing scams. It's just a place for you to walk and hand your money over to people. That's all it is. You understand? They already stacked the house up against you. That's all that's about. It's a scam all day. All day, every day. See, but like I said, the people who are willing to work, the people who are willing to work together, foster ideas, build families and things like that, like I said, they don't have that problem. They maintain the wealth. See, because once you get money, you understand conservativeness of it. The conservativeness of it. You're not going to see people like your Rockefellers and all them, the people who really got money. You're not going to see them flashing a wad of money or stand up there with $1,000 bills in their hand. You're not going to see them doing that. You understand? Because they understand the conservativeness of that. Black people don't. Black people just so happy to get any kind of bit of money in their pocket and whatnot. They don't think about how to actually access a wealth of ideas to make money. They don't think about that. They come out, like I said, they come out and they already on a mindset where, oh, I can't make this, I can't do that, I gotta hustle, I gotta get a hustle, I gotta get this going, I gotta get that going, and you're caught in a perpetual hustle. It's always gonna be that. It's always gonna be you chasing the dollar. That's what it is. That's what the focus is always gonna be. You chasing the dollar. You running behind the dollar. You understand? That's always gonna be the focus. It's never gonna be this thing where, I'm gonna formulate an idea to get money because I got a bigger plan for this. I want to see my children. I want to build something for my children. I want them to go to schools and whatnot. And a lot of times when you guys get money, you want to put them around white people and you want to put them in white schools. You don't want to build up your community or build up and try to make something for the children and something, for your own kind. You don't want to do that. That's not your mentality. That's not your mindset. Your mindset is me, myself, and I. That's the submental state. That's the crabs in the barrel state. They keep our people focused on that purposely. They hypnotize you with money. Like I said, it's no coincidence that every time you turn around, you see these Negroes, and they told, I can almost bet that they're told to talk about that in their songs. Black people can't accumulate money because they have a slave mentality of the beast to chase the dollar. They can't accumulate wealth because they got that slave mentality, to the beast and the dollar. Like I said, they'll push each other out of the way. They'll stab each other, fight each other. Hell, I heard people take out, friends of mine, some people taking out insurance policies and then killing people for money. All for money. Because you can't think of anything to make money. Because you're a Neanderthal. Because you're an idiot. You're just dumb. And that's the majority of the people. They're not smart enough to think of ways to make money. So what do? What do? They rob, they steal, they kill, they plot, they scheme, all of that. Because they're not smart enough to think of ways to make money. You understand? That's why these laws are in place. That's why the police and the government and all this is in place for these people to keep control. You understand? That's why they do that. I want to ask people, while I'm doing the radio broadcast, please don't inbox me any questions because you're breaking my focus. I just want to say that, you can ask me afterwards and whatnot or toward the end when I'm done. You can ask me any question you want, but please don't ask me any questions during the broadcast. Thank you. I'll answer when I get a chance. But this is the problem. This is the problem that our people are not focused on. You understand that? Our people are focused totally on the money. See, with me, and like I said, with our people in that bright race that's coming up, we're not focused on the money. We love and we chase the bigger picture, the idea of what can be done with the money. See, because when you got an idea or a greater idea on what can be done with the money, then the money becomes easy to you. Avenues open up for you to make money. You understand? New avenues open up for you to make money. When you have, your mind is wealthy with ideas. But see, when your mind is not wealthy with ideas, you'll do anything. You understand? You become like that savage, like that Neanderthal. You understand? You'll kill people for it. You'll rob people for it. You understand? You'll sell drugs for it. You understand? But like I said, when you got people who can actually think beyond that, their mindset, like I said, you can see people who are clean and pure at heart and people who actually have good ideas. That will attract people to bring money to you. That'll make people want to do business with you. All you got to do is think. That bright look on people's faces when you see people who just seem to have a Midas touch to make money, that bright look on their face is the fact that they're thinking about the bigger picture. They're not fiending for money. They're not trying to just grab all the dollars off the table. Their mind is on that higher mental level, beyond the money, beyond the things that motivate you. See, because if you still motivated by money, if you putting pictures up and you showing money all on the table and money coming out of vaults and money in your hands and whatnot, that shows that you still in the submental state because you worship it. You'll never see the wealthy people ever show you pictures of them holding money in their hand. You understand? The very people that control it, they control it like a vice over your head. You understand? They control it like a vice over your head. They love to keep you chasing it. They love to keep you in that submental state. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having money or being wealthy or being rich. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But when that's your end-all, be-all, when you sitting up here, money this and money that, because I never believed in the people. I never believed the people who showing me money and flashing money in the face and all that. Those kind of people, I don't put any stock in. I don't put any energy into. You know, the flaunters, those are the people that don't have no money. You understand? It's always the people who you least expect. Those are the ones that got money. Like I said, I ran into a lot here in New York City on the 6 train alone, riding up there. When I used to work up there uptown in Manhattan, I ran into a lot of billionaires on the 6 train, dressed in regular clothes and everything. You would never think that. White guys, billionaires, living up on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. You understand? It's the first thing a black man get when he want a Bentley, a Rolls, he want to show off. You understand? He wants to show off. He wants to consume. As soon as he get $1 in his pocket, he wants to consume. He becomes the consumption monster. You understand? He wants to consume. But like I said, you know, and like I said, they'll do everything to keep it because they know 9 times out of 10 they lucked into getting it in the first place. They just happen to be born like Biggie said with a wicked jump shot, or they slinging crack rock. You know, just by making that statement alone, he drove down the mentality of black people. He helped drive down the mentality of young black people just by making that statement in that rap song. You know, if you're going to make any money or get out the hood, you got to have a wicked jump shot or sling crack rock. You know, forget about being a doctor, lawyer, a businessman trying to start your man. No, that's not real in the hood. Because he just basically saying it's just a bunch of dumb niggas that all they know how to do is throw a ball in a hoop or sell some drugs on a damn corner somewhere. That's Biggie's synopsis of the so-called black man and young black men. And y'all bought his records. But I guess he was telling the truth, because y'all just that dumb. I'm not going to include myself in that. You know, even when I'm sitting around here, and I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody, but even when I'm delivering water and doing the things I'm doing, even when I'm making moves like that, I got a lot of these Neanderthal brothers out here who look at me delivering water and collecting money. They'll look at me like, what's that water? What is that? What water? It sounds like, I heard one guy say it like that, and it sounded like I was listening to a caveman. What kind of water is that? What that water? You know, because I guess, I'm not selling weed or drugs or anything like that, so they can't understand somebody doing anything other than that. Because Biggie said, all I know how to do is sell drugs and shoot basketballs. You know, that's all it's about. You know, you black women, a lot of y'all out here, y'all can't appreciate a black man who got an entrepreneurial spirit, a so-called black man who got an entrepreneurial spirit. You don't want that. You know, you ought to be happy that there's any man out here today that's geared to do something. You understand? You ought to be happy about that. Anything that they involve in him going to jail. Because a lot of you brothers, like I said, because you trying to, a lot of the sisters, a lot of y'all get up there with these guys that's hustling, they selling drugs, they doing whatever, pimping, whatever they doing. You know, they putting their life out there, and you telling these guys you love them. The next thing you know, somebody kill them, and the guy who kills them in jail, then you on to the next guy who could give you money for a Prada bag or a Gucci bag or a pair of Versace shades or whatnot. You on to the next nigga because it's all about money. It's all about, can you pay my bills? Can you take care of me? You a big baby. You understand? It's all about who you could sucker. It's all about who you could play out. But that's the mentality of the black race now. That's the mentality. It's all about you putting your trust in people with some 401k plan and some job or some nonsense, valuing that over relationships, valuing that over the real things that matter. See, because money will come and go. But real people will only come into your life in a lifetime. Real people only come to your life once in a lifetime. Money comes and goes. See, our people don't understand that. It's just like love and hate. One minute you'll love somebody, next minute you'll hate them, next minute you'll love them again. Ebb and flow. Same thing with money. One minute you broke, one minute you got money. But if you're wealthy, you'll be on that road to riches or that road to wealth, and you'll never be broke again. Once you're wealthy mentally, you'll never be broke. I don't care if your financial standing is not in good esteem. You will make money again. A good man can totally wipe out. A man who's wealthy and rich with ideas can totally wipe out. And within less than 5 years, have everything he had built back. Not so with the black man. The average black man, anyway. The average black man, like I said, he fell into money. He ever hit a number, hit a lotto, just so happened to be able to run fast and throw a ball in a damn hoop. Or he slung some drugs and whatnot, because that's the mentality. Because the black man can't, or he's trying to run behind some marketing scam, trying to make some money because he see the white man making money off it, the ones at the top. And he put some Negroes out there in your face to make you believe that they making money when they really not. That's just a scam. That's a hustle. But like I said, our people are so hungry that they not thinking. Our people are so thirsty that they not thinking. You understand? That's the problem. Our people are hungry and thirsty when they can feed themselves, but they don't want to. See, because feeding yourself, actually investing time and energy in something means responsibility, and our people don't want that. 5 black men could get together, and sisters, 5 sisters could get together, or all come together, and y'all could start a corporation. See, because what people fail to realize is it's not about the money. If you got good people who are focused, you understand? If you got people that's focused on doing things, people that are focused and ready to cooperate with one another, then you can generate income. Y'all can, even if y'all selling pencils, I wouldn't give a damn if you selling pencils. If you got 10 people or 5 people that's willing to cooperate and play their part and play their position and make things happen and work together, you can definitely make money. You don't have to have no money. You understand? See, the white man, he understands that the true power is not in the money, it's in the people, it's in the labor, it's in the people that are willing to cooperate. You understand? The people who are willing to work together and play their part. You can generate millions of dollars off of people if they would only cooperate. That's the only problem with our people when it comes to money. They're not willing to cooperate with nothing that's worthwhile. For some foolishness, yeah. For some money marketing schemes, for some pyramid scam, you understand? The black man will work hard because he's still got a slave mentality. He'll allow the white man to con him out of money, giving him money for stupid things like prepaid legal and coffee and all kind of nonsense, things that you got to come in and pay money for, rather than come together with your own people and make money. He'll have zest and zeal to chase that. You understand? He'll have zest and zeal to chase that, to make the white man rich, to make him richer. You understand? But not enough zest and zeal to build something for himself or come together with his own people. He don't have no zest and zeal for that, because that's the markings of a slave. That's a man who got the mark of the beast still on his head. You understand? He refused to build for his own kind because he's a good slave. And a lot of you black people, y'all operate like this, especially you 401k Negroes. You operate like that. But when that Enron thing happened, a lot of y'all had your mouths wide open. He gassed you while your mouth was open. You didn't even see it. A lot of y'all thinking you could depend on your Social Security because you trust in him. You like big babies waiting for somebody to take care of you, waiting for somebody to give you a system, give you some hope. But like I said, y'all never the ones to think up a system yourselves. But meanwhile, whether it's the Africans, the white man, the East Indian, all these people, the Jews, they thinking up systems on their own that don't include you unless it comes to just selling something to you, using you as a consumer. You understand? That's it. Because you find some sort of value in giving money to these people because your self-esteem is low. You find some sort of value or some pleasure in giving these people money. for trivial things. Hair, makeup, bags, shoes, all this nonsense. You understand? You find, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having nice things. But why can't you black women produce bags, handbags? Why can't you produce bracelets and all kind of things like that and sell to each other? You understand? You so in a hurry to give it to other people. You understand? You so busy to run and give your money to other people because you find some sort of value in doing it. You pleased with doing it. You enjoy that. This is the mindset. This is the mentality. It's a submental place. My mind is further moving off of that submental place. So much so that I offended some people today. I'm sure. But I'm not going to take it. You know, I know that it's all toward an evolution to something. You know, when you got certain channels being turned and twisted and things like that and tweaked. When you got these things taking place like that, it's an evolution to something. See, because, like I said, we are moving into the future. It's not going to be any more of these Negroes out here who's sitting around here just, like I said, all bugged out and cooned out of their minds off of money on that submental state. You know, you're breeding a new type of person that are coming out of the black race who are not going to be focused on money. You know, because all that is designed to distract you. It's all designed to distract you and keep you in that submental space. Keep your mind low. You understand that? Keep you thinking that you need something. You need air. Right? You need food. You thinking you need something. It's always, like I said, it's all based in distractions. See, because right now, we're going through an evolutionary state right now. People are advancing. As we come into the new year, as we're coming to 2013, because as I said, the number 13 represents the evolution of evolution on the involvement of a new day. Because 1 and 3 is 4. 4 equals the fourth dimension. We're coming into that stage now. What the Mayans kept talking about, 12, 21, 12, right? We're going through an evolution. And a lot of people are going to be left behind in that mental evolution. A lot of people are not going to be thinking the same way. They're going to start doing drastic things. It's going to leave a lot of our people behind. So this is the talk of the day. We moving forward. We moving forward. Our people are caught in this mindset where they think that it's going to be this perpetual thing where we're going to keep rotating around money. It already goes without saying that we are mental slaves to money. I mentioned that. We already are mental slaves to money. That's already been mentioned. That's already said and done. You know, because like I said, if you feel a need to in 2012 to run up under the white man still looking for a handout, then you still a slave. If you still looking to survive off his system rather than come together with each other and try to build a system, then you still a slave. You understand? You no different than the slaves that was on the plantation and didn't want to run off because you was afraid to take a chance on being free out in the world, out of physical bondage. You rather stay on the plantation and go through hell because you figured it was some form of security. It's tough out there. You know, I can't do it on my own. I want to be part of a winning team, whether the team is on a damn chain gang or what, and had a chain around their neck. I want to be on a winning team. I want security. Like you Negroes, especially in the city jobs, y'all sit up here and talk about, oh, you know, y'all guys will walk around all fat and bloated and whatnot. And I heard a black man say something like, oh, yeah, you work for the city, right? They taking good care of you. Like you a baby. A grown man talking about, oh, you got a city job. They taking good care of you. You eating good. What kind of slave talk is that? Some fat, sloppy Negro working some city job, happy because he could eat 5 square meals a day or 10 to stuff his damn face. Oh, they taking good care of you. Sounding like Uncle Rastus from Amos and Andy. Or some damn coon show. But I hear it all the time. Yes, I hear it all the time. Because that's the mentality of the black man. He's been made into a big baby. Big, fat, sloppy Negro baby. You understand? That's the mindset. You understand that? That's the mindset. But we moving on past that. We moving on past that. We moving on beyond this mentality. Some of our people are going to move on. Some of our people are going to lie stagnant and do nothing. Some of our people are going to continue on in this evolution. I don't have time to sit here and worry about the black race no more. I've been stopped doing that. I say all these broadcasts for the bright race, the people who are coming out of that. We are already in past and prologue when it comes to the black race. Because when I do these broadcasts, I'm not doing it for, contrary to what people think, I'm not doing it for the black race. I'm doing it for the bright ones who are amongst the black race to drive you out. That's the whole point. It's not for the black race because the black race is not going to hear anyway. The black race always shows itself in some way, shape, or form. They always show themselves and they will always separate themselves. You understand? Because they still on the chain. You understand? They still on the chain. They think this is a joke. I said that our people have to realize the only time that we're going to stand up and do something for ourselves is when we feel and we realize that we no longer have a crutch with the white man or anybody else. Nobody's going to take care of us. See, because as long as we think we can go to a job, as long as we think we're going to continue to be able to go to a job, that we're going to be able to continue to work for somebody, we're not going to never do nothing for ourselves, ever. You understand? Ever. We will continue to not do anything for ourselves as long as we think we can go to a job and work for somebody. You understand? That's the mentality. You black women, you will be with these mediocre men who will sit up on jobs and work for the white man for 20, 30 years. You'll be with these mediocre men. And then you'll grow bored with them. You'll divorce them. You'll move on because you was looking for that man to take control, take things up in life, but you wasn't woman enough to take that man or see him when he was in your presence. You understand? To see a real entrepreneur, a real God in the flesh, because you couldn't deal. You play games. That's the mentality. You keep this madness going to where you stressing him out over, I don't want to be with a black man who ain't got a 401k or a good job and whatnot. There's no such thing as a good job, FYI. There's no such thing as a good job. It's all temporary. You understand? I done seen people making 100,000, 200, 100K, 150K a year, then they right on the welfare line. They broke. They done lost their jobs. You understand? Because them savings dry up real fast, and that unemployment dries up real fast. What's next? They can't survive in the world. You understand? Because they still looking for somebody's system to ride. They can't create a system for themselves or be a part of a system that something that they can actually chime in on and have some say in. They don't want to do that. They run looking right for the slave master instinctively. That's what they do. Some money marketing scheme, some scam of the white man, some pyramid scheme. You go run looking right for the master, somebody with a white face. That's in your mind. Or I'm gonna go look for a job because I don't have any money in my pocket. That's pre-designed in your brain to do that. I know. I did the same thing. But I broke that. I broke it. I'm breaking it every day. You understand? Because, like I said, 5 to 6 people who are willing to cooperate, that's enough to start a business, a corporation, a powerful one. But you're not going to find it amongst the average black man and the average black woman. You're not going to find that. What you will find is people who are looking to run and get right back on the damn chain gang. They're looking to get right on the plantation. And to you, what you black people are saying already, oh, well, I'm going back to the plantation. You might as well say, y'all said on your jobs every day, well, I'm still on the plantation. Where are your plans to get off the plantation? Where are your plans to get off the plantation? You understand? Where are the plans to get off the plantation? Who's coming up with a plan to get off the plantation? No, what y'all want to do is scam somebody. If you get 4 or 5 black people together, you're going to see a black man trying to scam somebody trying to be slick, somebody trying to scam somebody. It's never genuine. It's never a real plan. It's somebody trying to sell some insurance or some coffee or somebody or hustle some real estate to calm black people out of their houses, because that's the new scam of the day, or some prepaid legal or some vitamins or whatever they use you niggas to sell and buy and sell for them. Because that goes even back to the Revelation where you said y'all going to buy and sell for the beast. You got his mark in your head, and that mark is slavery. That mark is a servant of the beast. Because you don't have the mark of the true and living God arming in your head. You don't have the mark of the true and living God in your head. You have the mark of the beast. Even you niggas in religion. You understand? Where they got y'all flashing the money and things like that. Where you got the poverty pimps and the pulpit hustlers got y'all with this prosperity preaching. You understand? They got you like that. Because like I said, the whole thing is to get you focused on money. That's it. That's all it's about. The whole thing is to get you focused on money. And y'all focused on it. Even in the church, even in your so-called quest for spirituality, you're still focused on money. Or y'all fall on either you one extreme or you the other. You too focused on money, or you not focused on money at all. And you start this spiritual talk and this bum talk. You understand? You start all this spiritual garbage you start talking. Nonsense. You understand that? You start all that spiritual talk. Oh, well, why it got to be about money? Everything should be for free. Why? No, and everything shouldn't be for free. There's a reason why things cost. Because y'all would deplete the resource. As usual, you don't understand money. You don't understand why a system has to be set up. A monetary system has to be set up. You look at the people that's setting up the monetary system as evil, they the devil. Why? Because you got that same slave mentality where you think somebody owe you something, somebody's supposed to give you a handout. That's what fuels your so-called black rage. You understand? What do I mean by that? What fuels your so-called black rage? What fuels you niggas running around here mad talking about reparations and the white man's the devil? What fuels your black rage and your black power rant and your black supremacist rant is because the white man won't give you no money. That's really what it's all about. If the white man gave you niggas money, it wouldn't be you wouldn't hear. And he said, okay, I'm gonna give everybody $1 million who won't teach about black supremacy no more, won't teach that I'm the devil no more, won't teach that I'm this, I'm that, I'm evil anymore. Let them give y'all $1 million a piece, all you reparation talking niggas. I bet you any amount of money you won't hear all that reparation talk will shut up overnight. Because that's what it was all about in the first place. You just want a handout. Forget all the so-called pain and suffering that you claim you went through and whatnot. You don't care about your ancestors that you talk about so much. You do not care. You care about what you can get. You understand? You care about what you can get. You don't care about what's going to happen in the future. You don't care. Because if you utilize money correctly, you take care of your family. It's always about that. You understand? You care about what it is you can get right now. What handouts you can get. You understand? That's what fuels your black theory. Give people stuff. They knew how to take down movements. They took down movements based on the fact that, they figured if I give people a handout, give them what they really want, then, like I said, it'll calm them down. And it worked. It diffused a lot of movements like the Nation of Islam, Garvey's movement, everything. Got people to sell out. We'll be right back. That is the root. They say money is the root of all evil. No, at the root of all evil, or at the root of that money, you will find evil people pulling you back and forward, manipulating you to want to kill for it, die for it, hurt people for it, go to jail for it. That is a tool that is used to keep this system going. Money is used as a tool to keep the jail system going. It's used as a tool to keep suckers spending their money in casinos, buying lottery tickets, just the flash of money, the promise of money. You understand? The majority of what black people do crimes for is based on money. Very rarely, I mean, even though it's starting to increase, you see black people just killing for the hell of it or raping or doing stuff like that. But the majority of black people are in jail for crimes that involve money, chasing money, stealing money, selling drugs, everything that has to do with money, chasing money. That's the majority. If you took, like I said, if you took money out of this so-called system, you'll see a lot of the crime rate go down. That's why I said money is never going to come out of the system, because they need crime up. They built all these prisons. They need people going to jail. That's why I said before, money will never be it will never be a cashless society, because then that means no more crime, and without any more crime, there's no more jail system. So you shut down industries, you shutting down police departments, you shutting down, because who they going to arrest? You shutting down police departments, you shutting down correction officers, because who they going to keep in the cages? I mean, you got people out here that's raping and robbing and killing and stuff. I mean, you got people that's doing that, but very rarely, a lot of times it's connected with money when it comes to our people. You understand? And you got the few insane people amongst our people who just out here, they doing things for no rhyme or reason. They out here raping and doing all this other stuff. But like I said, the majority of our crimes is linked to money. Right? The love of money. It's a disease. It ends up becoming like a mental disease. You get caught up in it because you want to really just consume. You want to consume and you want to be a fat cat. You already see the mentality of the black man. Once he get a little piece of job, he start overeating. He gets fat. He get man boobs. He gets sloppy. As soon as he get a few dollars in his pocket, as soon as that nigga get a fistful of dollars, you understand? And you black women, y'all do the same thing. Y'all get fat. You eating scrimps and lobster. You at the damn Red Lobster. You get all fat and sloppy. You don't care how you don't care how you smell. You don't care about your height. You just buying all this perfume and stuff like that. That's what it's all about. Because you got a fistful of dollars. Y'all don't know how to act. These people will try to conserve money. Y'all want to just burn it. Y'all want to consume it. Y'all want to buy up everything. And then, like I said, in a matter of moments, in a matter of time, you broke. You right back to square one. You back in the circle again. You right back to it. But that's the mentality. That's the mentality. You chase money. Like I said, it's used as a distraction. It's used as a tool. It's used to keep people in a rotation. You understand? It's used to keep people in a rotation, chasing it. You understand? It's used to keep people chasing things in a rotation. Like I said, you black women, y'all spread your legs. A lot of y'all spread your legs for money. Let some man go inside of you, take the most personal part of you and sell yourself for money. Shake yourself up and down for a fistful of dollar bills. Because that's easy. What happens? When you willing to do anything for money. Do you understand what that does? It drives you down mentally. It drives you down mentally. It drives down your mindset mentally, because the minute you say, "Oh, well, I'm not. I'm just stripping to make some money. I ain't going to school to do nothing. I ain't trying to. I don't want to think. I don't want to think past a certain, mindset. I just want to get easy money, fast money, fast money, fast money." They promoted that in this mentality, in this system, fast money. But see, fast money don't stay around. Fast money is not a reality, because just as fast as it comes, as easy as it goes, as quick as it leaves. You get your paycheck on Friday, it's going by Monday or Tuesday. It's going. You understand? You get like I said, you run through your money. You lucky if you get a little $400 or $500 a week. It's going within 3 or 4 days. You done paid all these bills, right? You got your cable bill. You buying food. You buying clothes and stuff like that. You done ran through your money. You understand? All quick, just quick, fast. You ran through your money. You understand? But that's the mentality. That's the mentality. It's a submental state. See, it gets you to speed through life just as fast, while these people are walking through life and they thinking. They're thinking of ways to make money. They're thinking of ways to create wealth. They're taking their time. They walking through. They planning things out. They coming up with ideas. You trying to run through here and make fast money. You risking your life trying to rob and steal and sell drugs and shake your ass in the strip club somewhere trying to make fast money, degrading yourself. While some nigga throwing dollar bills at you and you butt naked standing in the damn club somewhere. And you telling yourself, oh, I'm an entertainer. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's not degrading to you anymore because you'll do anything for money. You know? You'll do anything. And people say, oh, well, why are you trying to judge people and this, that, and the third? No, you know, it's a good thing to judge people to a certain extent. It's a good thing to do that. Because by judging people in a certain extent, judging their mind frame and their mindset of where they at, you get to see where things are going with the people. It's a way to measure people, measure people's progress. See, because somebody after a point has to stand back and measure the progress of the people. Hell, a white man do it all the time with our people. He measures the progress of our people. He watches. He watches how far our people go and whatnot. They study things. Like I said, they're walking to wealth. You're running to riches. You're trying to run to riches. And if you're running towards something, you'll never catch it. 9 times out of 10, if you're running towards something, you will never catch it. But if you, like they do, they walk toward it. You understand? They walk toward it. And they take their time. And they thinking things out. And they figuring things out. They're going to figure out how to get that. That's why they sustain it. That's why they keep it. That's why they stand over you and keep you without it. Or they sell you this idea, like I said, they know that 9 times out of 10 you're not self-started, you're not gonna start anything up and work and put work and energy and things into it, because like I said, that requires responsibility, hard work, focus. You understand? Which our people don't have. Our people don't have that. They rather, like I said, they rather hustle you some kind of way. They rather figure out a scam to scheme you and scam you for something. You know, the simplest things. I'm gonna put out a podcast called The Excellent Thought. All right, that's coming soon. The Excellent Thought, because you know our people no longer value ideas. They don't value ideas to make money. They value the money, not the idea that goes into making the money. You understand? The idea is valuable, not the money. See, because you can run through money. But if you have got a wealth of ideas, you will always make money again. The money is just supposed to be the payoff for the idea. You understand? That's supposed to be the payoff for the idea, the money. That's just like the fringe benefits. You come up with an idea that will constantly make money for you and your family for a lifetime. You understand? Their focus, the people that became wealthy, yeah, they might have started out with their focus being to make money. But it was always to get to someplace. It was always a bigger picture beyond just making money and consuming. It was always beyond that. But with black people, it's not nothing beyond that. It's just consume, and consume. Ball until you fall, spend money. And like I said, after that, there's nothing. After that, there's nothing. There's no next chapter to this. There's no next chapter to this story. Just ball till you fall, and you will fall. You're not going to leave none of that money to your family. You're not going to leave none of that money to your children. 9 times out of 10, you're going to run through all that money. Look at these football players that you niggas idolize so much. These basketball players, they got 9 and 10 baby mothers and whatnot, and they done made all this $1 million, and these women lay up here to get pregnant just so they can get these niggas to give them their money. These simple-minded niggas get these women pregnant and give the money and have to give up money to them. You understand? These women go and stalk these guys, and they stupid enough to go sleep with them without condoms or anything, just so these women can get money, because they ready to hand their body over, give up their bloodline and their genetic. But I guess it ain't worth that much to them anyway. To some guy, some fast running, high dunking, sky hoop hanging, buck. You understand? Just so they can get a payday. Just so they can get a payday. You understand? This is the black race for you. You know, some fast running horse, because like I said, you niggas in the NBA, the NFL, and the white man that own y'all niggas don't mean y'all. All y'all niggas are a bunch of race horses to them. That's all you are. You're nothing but a race horse. That's all you really are. You just a bunch of fast running, high jumping race horses. You understand? Just like he own race horses, he own y'all. Because he'll sit up here and say, oh, I'm going to trade this guy to this guy. I'm going to trade this guy for this guy. Like y'all pawns, like you slaves. Because that's what you are. Just high-paid slaves. And you ain't got a problem with that. Because I'm getting paid. I don't know what he talking about. I'm getting paid. I ain't got to worry about no money. I'm getting paid. I don't care if some man talking about trading me like I'm a slave. I'll be a slave for $1 million. Now, you niggas say stuff like that. I'll be a slave for $1 million. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever for $1 million, whatever. At least I'll be paid. Yeah, yes, sir, master. You know, hey, who cares what he think? I got money. I'm paid. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It ain't about using your mind, using your brain and whatnot to make any money. And like I said, then when you niggas get it, like good slaves, it's not gonna go to educate your children. It's not going to go to build a business or something outside for your children. No, it's going to go right back in his pocket for Mercedes Benzes and big houses and throwing it in some stripper face of the club somewhere. And don't forget Xbox in every damn room. Or whatever you niggas play now, whatever kind of simple-minded video game y'all play now. That's the life. That's what you black men who sit on the sidelines, that's the life you want to live. You understand? That's the life you want to live. And that's the type of men, you so-called men, that you black women want. You know? Some nigga pouring Cavassier all over you at a bar somewhere. Buying out the bar and whatnot. That's your life. Throwing money in the air. You know what I'm saying? Stacks of money in your face. That's the life. Then you lose it all, and you ready to kill yourself. You ready to kill yourself. You ready to damn near commit suicide. You understand? Because you know deep down you didn't really develop any ideas to get that money. You know you didn't develop any ideas to get that money. You know that you came into a windfall. You feel like, oh, you know what? I made this money. I came into a windfall, and, that's what it is. That's what it is. I came into a windfall. I made this money, and 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make that money again. You know that. That's why you ready to kill somebody or go crazy when you lose all that money. Because what did you guys do in the football? You done blew your knees out in the football. You done took so many injuries. Or you niggas was boxing it and punched upside your head and whatnot. Half you guys got Alzheimer's. You got some kind of what's that? The shaking disease. I can't think of it now, but y'all got these brain disease, tremors and all kind of stuff. Or you done blew your knees out in the basketball court. What you gonna do now? You got the guy, I believe, Refrigerator Perry. Yeah, Parkinson's. Thank you. Parkinson's disease. You got the guy, Refrigerator Perry, the football player. I heard he's somewhere in Chicago packing meat in a meat packing plant somewhere. Refrigerator Perry working a regular job. I think he working a meat packing plant some damn way. Done blew all his money. You understand? Had to pay. And Muhammad Ali, good example. All them ex-wives, he ain't got no more money. All that alimony he paid out. Hey, but that's what it is. Everybody trying to dig in each other's pocket and get something, and there's really nothing there. That's what it's about. It's not about building nothing for the future. It's not about that. It's not about building nothing for your children. It's not about living this life for your children, because we only here one time, at least so we know. You here one time, but you don't build anything to leave behind for your children, something that they can have so they can move forward. That's not the mindset of the average black man. That's not the mindset of the average black man. You understand? That's not his mindset. His mindset don't go past sneakers and tattoos and dreads and clothes and all kind of nigga nonsense. That's his mindset. You understand? That's his mindset. Nothing beyond that. You understand? Nothing beyond that. That's the type of man y'all with. That's the type of man y'all attract. What about these black women who's supposed to be entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs, excuse me. Yeah. You know, y'all looking for a hand up too. You know. Y'all looking for a handout. Y'all looking for a hand up. You think you're going to work your regular job, and you, like I said, you sisters on the other side of it, y'all either go to one extreme or the next. You just too spiritual where you don't care about money. You living in a messed up apartment. You having baby after baby by some so-called spiritual nigga who got dreads and whatnot. Y'all trying to be natural and whatnot. You can barely feed your baby and stuff like that. That's the next side of it. You know, where he just don't care about no money at all. You know. He just living off the land. Y'all going from place to place, eating out of garbage cans or eating out of what is the food banks? You know, all because the black man either he ain't got no ambition to make it in the world, or the ambition is in the wrong way. He wants to ride somebody's coattails. You understand? And, you know, the explanation is, oh, well, yeah, brother, I'm spiritual, brother. I don't care about no money. Well, your baby not spiritual. Your baby need to eat, nigga. You understand? Your baby need to eat, nigga. Your baby can't eat spirituality. You understand that? Your woman and your children need heat. But I'm spiritual, brother. They'll be all right. No, you're not spiritual. You're just a lazy nigga. How about that? How about you not man enough to go out here and make it in the world and try to carve out a piece of this world for your children and your woman, something so they can be proud of you, something you can give to your children, so they can at least see by example that they had a father who was man enough to stand up and go out and get something, to take care of them. No, you're not man enough for that. That's not the focus. You understand? That's not the focus. So, like I said, the few good men out here that are far and few in between who are entrepreneurs on their own, real entrepreneurs, people who are starting businesses from scratch, like myself, and I'm going to toot my own horn for a damn minute, like myself, with Bright Beverage Company here in Brooklyn, New York. Alkaline water, alkaline iced tea, alkaline fruit punch coming next. You understand? Where we looked at people and we said to ourselves, you know what? We see what people need. I saw a need for something. I seen something that people needed, and I saw that, and I took advantage of it. You know? I didn't have to pick up a gun. That was in my past life. I didn't have to pick up no drugs. I wasn't trying to be a Neanderthal. I didn't have to sell no weed and none of that stuff. I don't have to commit no more crimes. All I had to do was sit and think. See, I wasn't around people. Yes, I took myself from around people who were BS artists, people who got so much excuses for doing nothing, versus people who wanted to achieve and work hard, make things happen. You understand? The people who wanted to make things actually happen. The people who actually, you know, when I get people around me, like I said, I'm very serious about my business. And to a young lady who I might have offended earlier concerning money, I apologize. But you know, I'm in a serious point in my life. I'm 41 years old. I'm focused on building something beyond money. I need serious people around me. You know? No, and like I said, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can understand that. But at the same time, like I said, I'm in a mode in my mind where I got to make sure everybody around me is real. Because I'm doing real things right now. You know, I'm putting a lot of focus in on things. as a man who's taking himself seriously in this day and time in his life, I don't have time to play with people. You know, I'm dealing with, sometimes I'm a little volatile. Men who are focused on something, he can see a bigger picture. When you got people that can't see the picture, the man who sees the picture, he's going to be volatile at times. He's going to be high strung. Because he's passionate about something. Like I said, sometimes you hear raw passion in my voice. You hear raw passion in my voice. But like I said, as time goes on, I want to inspire my people to do better. But with inspiration comes understanding. So for that, I apologize because I could have been more understanding. I want to play a little music. I wanted to wait until the 30-minute mark. I'm almost there. Questions, comments. I'm doing a special broadcast tonight because over at the restoration, we got rained out. It was the little storm and whatnot. Personally, I don't hear anything smashing around here. It's not like it's a New York storm. A New York storm blows through there quietly. It's not like Florida or anything else. It blows through and it makes its little mark and it goes about its business. So, what do I want to play? In the 30-minute mark. Yeah. Grace Jones, Slave to the Rhythm. We'll be right back. This goes out to a lot of you hustlers out there. You guys with $50,000 to $60,000 cars, BMWs, Mercedes Benz, but you ain't got no place to live and you sleeping in your car. Because you trying to impress some chick. You ain't got no place to live, but you sleeping in the car that you leasing. All right? If you drop her off for the car you leasing or whatever you paying the car note on, because that's your apartment, that car. You go somewhere, park down a dark alley somewhere, and pull out your blanket. You go right to sleep, or you park in front of the project and go stay up there in your mom's house. That's the mentality. That's people who want to be hood rich, nigger rich. People who place emphasis on money. So much so that, all the energy they put into scamming their way to get that car or get that chick could have went into formulating a plan to make real money to build a business, putting their people to work, doing something like that. See, because, you're cheated when when I used to sell the drugs and do all that stuff, you're cheated when you do that. Why I say that is because, when you're selling drugs and you hustling, you doing all this stuff, all the hustling and stuff like that to make money, you're actually cheating yourself. Because, it distracts you from actually thinking of ways to make money. When I did that, I wasted a lot of money. Money that could have been put into starting real business. But in your mind, you're getting money so fast, you don't think that time is going to come when you're not going to have it no more. Like I said, the black man, how many millions of dollars black men made selling drugs? But they kept on selling drugs over the years. These guys will make money all over the place, and they just keep selling drugs. And you wonder why, like, damn, you guys made all this money. Why don't y'all get out of it? You understand? Why don't y'all get out of it? Why are these guys selling drugs for 20 years, 30 years? Why are you guys staying in it? Because you really can't think anything beyond that. Beyond being a predator, beyond using people, beyond hustling. You don't evolve into a businessman. Hustlers are supposed to evolve into businessmen. You understand? But you guys who stay hustling and you never evolve and grow mentally into businessmen where you're doing things legally and you're using your mind, you guys either die in the street or you die in prison. You understand? But you will, like I said, it never lasts. The drug money, it never lasts. Somebody going to get mad. Somebody going to get jealous. You know what I mean? Somebody in your crew they're going to tell on you or kill you or take what you got. because that's what money does. You understand? You know, that's what money does. Money sets you up in all kinds of things to do things. I was around people. I was around animals. You understand? I was around animals. I was around people that'll kill you in a heartbeat. You understand? I survived in the zoo. You know? And I came out unscathed because I had a bigger mission. You know, I had a bigger mission. I didn't see it at the time because, you know, and I kept running away from what my mission was to do. You know, I didn't come here to hustle my people. I didn't come here to scam my people. I didn't come here to be a pulpit pimp and stand on it and get adulation. I came to take my people and moved it to the next level mentally. I didn't come here to sell them no conscious nonsense. I didn't come here to be a conscious hustler. Because that's the new thing to chase money. A lot of you so-called conscious people. Don't think I forgot about you niggas. I ain't forget about you. I'm going to get you. Now, you guys, like I said, you want to hustle your conferences. You want to keep talking about Egypt and Africa and things like that. You know, you guys, half you guys was old ex-pimps. Some of you guys was old wannabe hip-hop artists that didn't go nowhere. Some of you guys was ex-reverends. So you came into this thing here. You understand? You came into this thing here, this so-called conscious thing, and you trying to sell some consciousness. That's the next hustle. How many niggas could you crowd into a room to get them to listen to the same history over and over and over and over again to get money? You're not interested in the evolution of your people. You're not interested in the doing things for the betterment of your people. You're trying to hustle and con people. You getting your knowledge out of a book, yet you claim to be some seeded entity because you just really want money. The real seeded entities, the real people who are receiving higher intelligence in this day and time from the true and living God, Amen, are the people who are not reading books. FYI. They receiving. They don't have to read books. They're sent intelligence. They attract it like a magnet. You guys that got to sit up here and constantly go over and over and over again, saying the same things over and over and over again. You understand? You guys is trying to hustle because you're trying to make a living, because you're trying to, you know, do everything that comes along with that lifestyle of women and money, because that never left your head. You guys couldn't make it as reverends and preachers. You guys couldn't make it as rappers. You couldn't make it as anything else. So you came into this conscious thing. You just took your hustle to another level. You understand? You just took your hustle to another level because it's all about money. It's all about money in that wrestling. Ain't a damn thing funny? You got to have a con in this land of milk and honey. A con. Not a business. See, ideas like this is programmed into the mentality, to the minds of our people. That in order for us to make a buck, we got to scam somebody. We got to scam our own kind. We gotta lure them into pyramid scams from the white man or some Asian or somebody, whoever set up some bogus business. We gotta lure them into a pyramid scam to sell some insurance, some vitamins, or whatever, just to get some money. We gotta lure them into a room to hear people talk over and over again about Egypt and Africa and all over and over again. We gotta constantly hear that in perpetual motion. You understand? Damn. God damn. This is where it's at. This is where it's come to. The love of money. That's what keeps people, like I said, that's what keeps our people from evolving. Not seeing the bigger picture because they chasing money. That's what it's about. That's what keeps a lot of my people from evolving. Because a lot of our people think they going somewhere. They talking about money. Certain people talking about success and money and getting money and stuff like that. And nigga, you not getting no money. Y'all not getting no money. You didn't get the memo? There's no money under the beast. He's not. Like I said, he's throwing nigga pennies off the table at you. He's throwing crumbs. There's no money under him. There's no future with him. Everything is temporary with him. Don't you understand? Especially now. Everything is temporary with him. You ain't seeing it? All this unemployment out here? Everything is temporary. It's only a matter of time before you're with nothing. It's only a matter of time. We just out here paying bills and dying. That's all black people are doing in society. Paying bills and waiting to die. But had we come together, you understand? Had we come together, had we put our differences aside, because like I said, we keep thinking that money's the issue with our people, and it's not. Our people have a serious mental problem. You understand? They're off. They don't know how to focus on what the real problem is. People are out of sync with each other. People are out of whack. They can't identify the real problem and move forward onto that. You understand? You got certain people who are in different frequencies, on different and vibrating in different rotations, and they can't move forward. You understand? You got people like that. That's the mentality. See, people are off mentally. A lot of our people vibrate on that submental frequency. A lot of our people are still in dimensions where they slaves. A lot of our people are still stuck in religion. A lot of our people are stuck in spirituality. A lot of our people are stuck in culture. So this creates a divide in the minds of our people. You understand? And they can't even see it. Don't tell me you ain't got a problem, then you going Alhamdulillah, or Jesus is my personal savior, or Ashe and Hotep. You got a problem. You got a problem. You caught in time. Somebody got to lead the damn way forward out of this madness. Or you caught up in some money. A lot of you niggas think y'all, thanks to this guy Rick Ross, a lot of you niggas think y'all in an 80s drug dealer movie. Y'all think y'all in a perpetual Tony Montana Scarface movie. You caught in that. That's your reality. You caught in that hustling, flipping bird reality, that mentality. You caught in that. That's the mindset. You understand? That's the mindset. That's the way of thinking. That's the idea. That's the focus. See, that's what happens when you get people, like I said, and you cause confusion with them. And next thing you know, people, like I said, they moving around in circles, just rotating in circles. And there is no forward motion. Just people trying to understand where each other come from, but it's always a state of confusion. And while y'all in the state of confusion, people are ripping you off. You understand? People are ripping you off. While y'all sitting somewhere in y'all mind in the desert with Prophet Muhammad, and you sitting in the mosque praying, or you sitting in the church somewhere trying to be Jesus Christ-like, or you sitting somewhere trying to be the best African, the best Egyptian, the best Hote Ashea, or the best drug dealer, or whatever the hell your head is off into, or whatever madness your head is off into, instead of facing forward and focusing, seeing what the hell's happening with our people today, or whatever Black Power Ranger idea you got in your head that you think you some Black Power person. Like I said, you know. Oh yeah, no, of course. Don't let me forget the sovereignty guys. Thank you, Shabazz. Don't let me forget the sovereignty hustlers. The nationality paper. They're gonna draw up your papers for your sovereignty and your nationality. Right. These niggas living out here like you. They got dollars in their hand, but they sovereign and they gonna draw up some papers. Yeah, okay. More hustles, more scams. You know, more niggas trying to pack on extra wives and make money and hustle. That's all that's about. That's all that's about. You know, that's all that's about. Games. But how you maneuver through the games is you keep your head forward and you look to get with people who are keeping their head forward and not falling into these traps. People who are not chasing the dollar. People who are not chasing behind some madness, some dream, some things of the past. So how do we get forward? We leave all these things behind. We stop chasing money. See, because if we can't come together collectively in one mindset and cooperate with each other, and I know it's not going to be the black race. That's not going to be the majority of our people. The majority of our people, they always going to be on some out for themselves mentality. They always going to be on some selfish mentality. That's going to happen. Don't look for the black race to come together. Don't look for us to come together and sing Kumbaya, we are the world. That's not going to happen. We're not going to Ashe and Hotep our way into the future. That's not going to bring our people together. We don't need no more niggas sitting up here telling us about Egypt and Africa and Sirius A and Sirius B. And meanwhile, while they telling you about, they trying to pick your damn pocket with $25 and $30 to get in there to hear the same thing over and over again, and y'all stupidly paying for this. Are you serious? Unfortunately, our people are serious. Unfortunately, our people are serious. Unfortunately, our people's brains are scrambled. You understand? Our brains are scrambled like damn eggs. We so stressed out over money that we willing to end things with people that could help us, that could be our future. We so stressed out over money that we keep forgetting the bigger picture. We sever relationships. We borrow money from people and cut their throats, don't pay them back. You understand? I'll go through a personal experience right now. I had a nigga borrow $2,000 from me. Never paid me back. Had to run into this guy, right? See him. I see him after 8 months. He'll help the brother out, loan him 2 G's, right? Help the brother out. Help him pay for his wedding. He just got married to his woman. They need to pay for a reception and whatnot. Help this nigga out. You know what he got the nerve to do? He got the nerve to tell me he's going to give me the money back. Duck me for 8 months. Ducks me for 8 months. You know? And it wasn't even about the money. I wasn't mad about the money. You could, if you would have paid, if you didn't get the money, people fall into hard times, whatever. You're just not going to pay me the money back. Think about what you did. You willing to blow off somebody who was willing to loan you $2,000? Obviously, I had it like that to loan you. You gonna blow off somebody and play somebody who can loan you $2,000? You know, who could also be that same person that could put you in the ground over that $2,000? You know, but that's the mentality. If you're not sure that you're not even thinking, because anybody just go in their pocket and take out $2,000 and give me, I'm gonna be friends with that person. I'm gonna make sure I pay them people back because I might need them again. But when you just chasing money and you being stupid, you don't think about things like that because you're gonna fall into the same pit hole again. You're gonna fall into that same hole again, and you're gonna need again. You understand? You're gonna need again. But that's the mentality, you know. So let me go ahead and answer these questions before I close out because we come to the end of our broadcast. Like I said, I wanted to do this special broadcast tonight only because, you know, I missed the Supermen, Superwomen project, and I wanted to get that, you know, I wanted to get this off. And so let me go ahead and answer these. Let me go ahead and answer these questions or deal with these last minute things. Hold on. Okay. Can money really help black people in this country? No, it cannot, because like I said, and I'm always going to advocate this, that the problem with black people is not a monetary one. It's a mental problem. Now, I'm in the last 10 minutes of the broadcast, but I'm going to have them take this call because, you know, but you got to start calling like toward the like middle or something like that. You know, I'm in the last 10 minutes, but I'm going to take this call briefly. 347, you're on air.
Hey, Nuben.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Who's calling?
Brittany.
Hey, Brittany, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Everything what you said was right.
Thank you.
And
You know.
It's come to a point where we're chasing money for no reason. It's like we're giving it back to the beast for no reason.
Pretty much.
And I'm seeing it every day, and it's getting ridiculous.
Mhm.
And I'm getting tired and sick of it. Even I'm a college student trying to be a lawyer. My mom's working a 9-to-5 job, and she's working like a dog, and it's really sad.
Yeah, well, that's the last days of our people here in this society where we're gonna be chasing money, and it's not gonna be anything. Like I said, we're just gonna be chasing like hamsters on a wheel and whatnot. They're gonna just keep dangling, and we're never gonna catch it because we refuse to see what the real problem is. It's not the money, but you can't tell our people that, you know.
No, even this, I don't. Even I took a loan in scholarship.
Oh. And it's going to be, a lot of our people, they're going to have to realize there's no security in the beast. There's no security in this society. The only security we're going to have is each other, and we're going to have to establish something amongst ourselves. But the majority of black people are not going to get that. So, all right, Brittany, I got to go because we're down the last.
Wait. Hold on. Are you going to do an alkaline smoothie line?
What now? Yeah, eventually. Yes, eventually.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. And
right.
Also, wait, one more thing. You're the only person that gave an actual solution. So I would like to say thank you.
You're welcome, Brittany.
Bye.
All right. Take care. All right. Miss Brittany Light. Thanks for calling in, Britt. All right. Let me finish answering these, and then I'm going to go. Why don't black people have money? Because, like I said, they think about the money before. Like I said, the focus is just on the money, and it's not on actually the idea. You understand? To get money. Money should never be the focus in trying to pursue wealth. It should always be the idea. The money's going to come. You understand? If you're thinking things out, and you're not looking for a crutch to ride somebody's coattails like you marketing hustlers. Is money used to keep black people on a low submental frequency? Yes, it is, because, like I said, all our people do is focus on the material things about money, flashing money and things like that, and that's the thing that hypnotizes our people. We are black people. Why are black people always looking for lotteries and windfalls? Because, like I said, black people don't want to really work for nothing. They want money to drop out of the sky. They think that everything comes for nothing. And you see these white people that you keep talking about got money like that. They had to work for that. I'm not talking about the people who inherited the money, but the actual people that built the companies and the corporations. They had to work. That's real. A lot of our people want to get away from it. They want to say, oh, it's because they white, or it's because they didn't. No, they worked. You understand? All that white stuff is only going to get you but so far in this world. At a point, even amongst them, they got to work. So what would black people do if they had real money? They would consume. They would consume. They were consumed to no end. Why is the churches pushing money so hard today? Churches are pushing money hard today because they're trying to get you to focus on that. Like I said, by focusing on money, it drives you down mentally, and you're not thinking of the bigger picture. That's it. Who will be able to sustain wealth in the future? The people who are wealthy mentally, the people who are rich with ideas, who open themselves up to receive higher intelligence. These are the people who will receive higher ways of thinking. These are the people who will figure out ways to make money. Things will just come to them. They're not going to have to sit up here and run some scams and things like that, or run some hustles, So when you see these Negroes out here, like I said, talking about success and money and putting up stacks of money and things like that, you already know what level they vibrating on. And it's always usually these religious Negroes. It's always some Israelites, some Christians, some Muslims. They always on that nonsense. They always trying to push that money thing in their faces. That shows you the low frequency they vibrate on. They never got any ideas. Everything is a hustle. They never have an idea to make money. Everything is a hustle. Or to jump on the coattails of somebody else. They attracted, all these guys like that, they attracted to hustles. These are the guys who are the candidates for the, these are the guys who end up being the candidates for the money marketing scams and the pyramid schemes. All right? These are the guys. All right? So we're not interested in that. Not the bright ones of our people. We're trying to raise people, like I said, who got a higher mindset, an advanced way of thinking. That's the type of people I want around me, people who draw good ideas to them, advanced ideas to them, not people who sitting around here trying to figure out ways to hustle people. We raising up a race of hustle men. You remember Hustle Man, like on that character on Martin? We raising a race of hustle men and hustle women. Not business people, not people who are focused and coming up with ideas to make money and real worthwhile ideas. All right? So, we come to the end of our broadcast. Join us Monday. Topic will be hot. I got an idea, but I'm not going to say what I want to do yet. It's going to be good. We missed the State of Mintel Supermen Superwomen project, but another one is coming November 18th here in New York City, Brooklyn, New York. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. This is State of Mintel Radio. Good night.